Hi friends, welcome back to my channel Testing Mini Bytes. I am your friend Amudan Shaktivel, and today we will see another interesting topic about how we can create a factory class to 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 handle all the things that we have for invoking a browser. Right? This is because we have a very messy current implementation in our driver class. Okay, so that's why I want to optimize with the help of a driver factory class. Okay, and if you don't understand what it is, that's absolutely fine. We will see that in detail. Good. So the first step, we'll have a quick recap about how we can use a remote WebDriver, which we have seen about it in the last video. I missed to tell about an important point that we will cover it in this particular video, and then we'll also see what is the problem with the current implementation, and then we'll also see how we can fix that using a help of a driver factory class, and and we'll also see an exception handling. How we there is a exception handling that we need to in the driver factory class, and we will see how we can optimize that as well. So this is what going to be the agenda for today's topic. Without wasting much time, let's get into the Eclipse workspace. And if you notice, this is the code that we have written. So unfortunately, I have forgot to remove this. Okay, this is not needed. This is only needed. Okay, if you are running this, so this particular statement is only needed if you are running your Chrome, Selenium test in your local machine. It is not needed if you are running it on remote, that too in Docker. Okay, this particular we use WebDriver Manager just because we need to handle the Chrome, the executables for this particular browser, right? But in Docker, it will be handled automatically. So you don't need to have this particular statement. I missed to remove this statement. Okay, that's why you don't need this statement. But the reason why we don't need this particular WebDriver Manager to handle this for us, I will explain that in another video after explaining what is Docker, how Docker container works, what all the folders it will have, all those things. After that I will explain about this, but I'll add it as a to-do statement in my side to add it to add a video at the end. Now let's go to the driver class. This is what we have. If you notice, this driver class is so big. Okay, and because this init driver method is having so many lines of code, and it's we are checking actually Chrome. If it is Chrome and the run mode is remote, then we want to do this particular set of statements. Okay, if it is remote, we want to execute this particular set of statement. If you want to run it in local, we are using WebDriver Manager to handle the driver executables. Good. The same way, if the browser is Firefox and the remote and the mode is remote, then we want to execute this particular statement. And if it is in local, then we want to execute this particular set of statement. If you notice, the code is containing so many if blocks, and even inside that we have a try catch block, making our code looking very clumsy, right? It looks very messy. So we need to fix this issue. So in with our previous experience, we had a similar kind of thing, and that's when we created this explicit wait factory with a static method which will return a web element which will hold all the waiting strategies for our Selenium test, right? The same way, this particular code with a lot of if conditions and try catch blocks can be still optimized with the help of a driver factory. Okay, so I will add the first thing, that is I have to explain to do, that is I want to explain why uh, executing when why executables were not needed when executing in remote. So this one is a to do on my task. I'll find a right time to implement this. Okay, it's not now possible because you will not be able to understand. So I'll find a right time to tell you why executables are not needed in this case. Good. But what I'm going to do, I'll cut this whole code. Okay, I don't want this code to be there and making it more. Okay, now I cut this whole code. Okay, now I'll create a new class. Okay, because I'm gonna wrap all these things into a factory class. So I'm gonna name it as driver factory because we're gonna wrap all the implementation needed to invoke a browser, right? So I name it as driver factory. Okay, the package I'm going to create is factories because all the factory classes are also here. Good. Some people prefer keeping it in a driver package, but I prefer keeping it in factory so that all the factories can be found in one place. Again, it's up to you to decide how you want to implement this. Again, there is no particular reason that I want to have this non-final. So making it final helps me to restrict some other classes to extend this, because I don't want people to extend this particular class, and the same way I don't want someone to create an instance for this particular class. because I'm going to hold only one static method, and that static method will have public static. And let's see what it will return. But for now, I will keep it as void, and then maybe I can name it as get driver, because this method, when someone calling this particular method, it will do all the operation it needs to do, and then it should give them back the WebDriver instance. That's it. So now we are ready. Good. Now if you notice, we have copied, I am pasting the code that we have copied here. So it needs a browser and the run mode. Okay, so run mode, okay, I can get it here, string run mode. I want to fetch it from the property utils. If you haven't watched my previous video, please do watch that so that you can understand what is going on here. And get config properties dot run mode, right? So this will give me the run mode string value. But the browser, I need to get it from my driver.java. Maybe when someone is calling this particular method, they need to also send me a browser string browser. If they tell me as which browser they want to execute, okay, I can handle it. Good. Now if you notice, we are doing all the set driver, driver manager dot set driver and all here. Instead, I'll remove this particular code. Okay, I can do, I can create a local web driver variable called null. Okay, control shift and O will import that WebDriver package for me. So what I going to do, I don't want this code to be here. Okay, let it be inside the driver. That's where it needs to be. Only thing is, whatever that's coming from there, okay, maybe I need to write driver factory, okay, dot get driver, and then I need to pass that browser. So whatever the browser that they want to execute, I will pass it here. Okay, it should return me. So this, it should return me a WebDriver instance, right? Good. So now I go here, I'll change this to, sorry guys, so I'll go to the driver factory class. And if you notice, I will change the return type to WebDriver. So I'll tell you why this is WebDriver. Good. Now I will add a return statement for now. Add return statement. Let it be driver. That's okay. So what I want to do. So when the browser is Chrome and the run mode is remote, then I want to do this. Okay, all the things, and I don't even want this try catch block for now. Let me remove this. Okay, when I don't need this particular thing, I don't want to set it here. Okay, I just want to return it. So I'll just assign to this particular WebDriver variable. Good. Now, when the remote mode is local, run mode is local, and the browser is Chrome, then I want to execute this particular statement and then assign driver variable to new Chrome driver. Okay, guys, if you don't understand, it's okay. I will explain at the end. Okay, so just be with me. Good. The same way, if the browser is Firefox and the run mode is remote, okay, I don't want to first have this try catch. I will explain you why. And I also don't want to set it directly to this guy. I just want to assign to driver so that I can return from the method. Good. Same way, I don't want to set it here, and I can set it to driver equal to Firefox driver. So when the browser is Firefox and the run mode is local, then it will be returning it will assign new Firefox instance to this driver variable. Okay, at the end I am just returning this driver. Okay, now our code looks much clean. Okay, good. The problem is, okay, this may throw, okay, let me close. Okay, this may throw malformed URL exception. Okay, whether I need to catch it here or I need to throw one exception. Okay, this is the first step. When we throw exception, okay, it will be propagated to back to the caller method, and your program will terminate. But we already understood this is not a good practice to directly propagate to the caller method. Okay, instead you can do a try catch and then handle it. Okay, so I'm doing a try catch here. So if I do a try catch, what happens? If even if the code is wrong, suppose if there is a malformed exception, okay, the exception will be handled and the program will try to proceed to the next step. When it try to the proceed to the next step, anyway the browser invocation itself failed. Okay, so there is no reason I have to catch this. Okay, so what people prefer, they can throw new runtime exception. That's what we did before, right? If you haven't watched my exception series, you should definitely watch that to understand what is happening here. Okay, you can mention like some malformed exception happened. Okay, malformed exception happened. Good. But if you notice, this is happening at two places. I need to write this particular set of statement two times. Okay, so maybe I'll copy this whole thing. Okay, this is the same thing, right? So I can paste it here. Okay, now I'm catching the exception and then throwing it, as a runtime exception. So the program will terminate. And there is also a chance that my this particular set of statement can also throw some error at the runtime. There is no checked exception here. Suppose consider your Firefox driver, WebDriver manager cannot invoke this Firefox driver. This can normally happen, okay, when your resolution, this is your WebDriver resolution cache, right? We spoke about this before. If you guys don't understand, please watch the video. I will leave the link in the description. So suppose this is how it operates. So WebDriver manager has last, you know uh, updated on this Jan 26 11:58. Okay, it found that the Chrome version is 86. Okay, it will not try to find the Chrome version before this particular time. Okay, suppose consider after 11:58 at 12 o'clock your Chrome browser got updated. Okay, then if you run the test in between 11 to 12:58, all your test will not be running because it will not try to resolve the cache. Okay, either you need to clear the resolution or you need to do some other task. Okay, so your test can also throw some exception even when you use WebDriver manager. This is what we understood before. So this particular statement can also throw me some error. Okay, so I can also do a try catch and then throw a new runtime exception that there is some problem here. Okay, so sorry guys, there is a typo here. So instead of handling all these things, okay, instead of handling all these things, what I think, okay, there are four exceptions. One is here, and there is also a possibility that there can be a exception here. There is a possibility that can be a exception here and here as well. So there is, I have to write four try catch block and then throw a new runtime exception. Instead, what you can actually do, instead of handling like this, okay, this we normally do. We do a try catch and then throw it in the form of runtime exception. Okay, and instead of this, we're gonna do some other different approach now. Instead of bottom level logging, I'm gonna do a top middle level logging. Okay, what I'm gonna do, okay, guys, I'm just trying to be a little clear. Okay, so I'm throwing the exception. Okay, if I throw the exception, whatever the method that is calling this needs to handle this. Okay, let me go to the driver class. If you notice, this is throwing exception now. So instead of throwing the exception back to the caller, here I can handle it because I have enough information. I can handle all those four exceptions into one just exception because all these four exceptions are basically your browser cannot be invoked. That's the problem, right? So I can handle this with a try catch here. Okay, again, if I handle with the try catch, it will go and try to execute the next statement that is not needed. So I can throw a new runtime exception. Okay, new runtime exception. Good. If I throw a new, I can tell like browser invocation failed. Please check the capabilities. Something like this. I can put a message. Okay. But if you notice, even my Sonar link will not be happy because this exception is more generic. Okay. Previously, we have created a lot of exceptions in our particular framework. Let me open the exceptions class that we have created. We have so many exceptions, right? So I can also create one more exception. Okay. Maybe this exception, I can name it as browser invocation failed exception or browser invocation failed exception. Okay, that's fine. I think browser invocation failed exception is okay, more reasonable. Let me create a class. Okay, this particular guy will extend your runtime exception. Sorry, we have a framework exception. Okay, which actually extend your runtime exception. Okay, if you go here, this actually extend your runtime exception. Again, guys, these concepts I already have covered in the previous video. Please do watch them. Okay, uh, good. Instead of this, I want to all this. Okay, all the errors are gone. Now we have actually created a custom exception. Okay, add suppress warning that we can do. That's okay. Now everything looks fine. So if I go to the driver class, okay, instead of this, I can create a um, browser invocation exception, okay, failed exception, and you can pass whatever the message you want to pass. Okay, maybe I can please check the capabilities of browser, something like this. Okay, and you can also pass the cars if you are not doing any alteration to the stack trace. Okay, you can directly pass like this. Okay, you don't have to pass the stack trace. Again, guys, I have covered everything in detail in my exception videos. Please do watch that. Okay, there is only one to do that I have to do. Why executables were not needed in case of executing in remote. So now we will do a quick recap. Okay, so what I have done. Okay, I don't need this. Okay, previously we had a class that holds so many logic in this. Okay, consider this guy as a team lead. Okay, if a team lead has so many work, what he will do, he will allocate to some guys and then get the work done, and he will pass on to his manager. That's what this particular init driver method is doing. The reason that we created a driver factory is because your test lead is doing so much of work, so this guy can handle some of them. Okay, what this guy is doing, okay, if I am just giving this guy the enough details. Okay, I want to invoke a browser. Okay, whatever the browser I'm telling. Okay, at runtime I'm telling it you want to invoke a Chrome browser. Okay, this guy does some internal logic himself. Okay, he is checking what is the run mode, and based on that he is doing all the logic himself. Okay, he's doing all the task for you, and then he is returning me, okay, I have done the task. This is what the driver you are expecting. Okay, we are returning the web driver back. Okay, now this guy will allocate to do your uh, your so driver manager, right? This is because we need the thread safety. Okay, that's why we are allocating to this particular guy. Good. So again, if you want to create a local variable and then directly do it, or this will give me an anonymous object, so I can directly assign here. Good. So this is what we are doing. Okay, the reason that we are handling the exception here is because it at this particular point of time I have more details. I know what to do. I can wrap all those things together in a form of runtime exception, so I'm handling it here. You can also handle it here. Again, different people handle exception differently, but I prefer handling like this because I have more details. I can club all this information together into this particular method. Again, guys, if you find the video good, please do subscribe. If you want to tell me that if you don't understand somewhere, you can also let me know that you didn't understand about it, so that I can change the way how I explain, guys. Okay, your feedbacks are really really important. So please do send your feedback in form of YouTube comments, or you can contact me via LinkedIn, or you can also contact me via Telegram or my Facebook ID. Again, guys, I will see you all in another great video. Until then, tata, bye bye.